Hi, folks. You're with Tassos today at your Pushback channel, and thank you for joining this radio live stream. In this essay, I'd like to talk about the subject of bots. Just how many bots are there out there? How much of the traffic that we see is driven by bots, or everything under the AI umbrella, I guess. But now, what came up at Twitter was when Elon Musk was looking at buying them, was Mr. Musk was concerned about that there may have been a proportion of the alleged traffic that Twitter claims was generated or is generated by bots. Now, much to my surprise, Twitter fessed up to 5% bots. Now, I don't know whether that was 5% of all the alleged handles that are on Twitter were bots, or that 5% of the total traffic is bots or generated by bots. Because you can have bots, for example, you could have one bot but doing millions of messages and just churning and churning messages, and that could create that could be half the traffic on any platform, but it might only be one or two bots. So I'm not sure whether that was 5% of the handles, the alleged people that are supposed to exist were bots, or it's 5% of total traffic. Either way, Elon Musk wasn't satisfied that the valuation of Twitter was accurately represented, in his view, represented the amount of bot traffic that he believed may have been going around Twitter. So, but this raises the issue. I was shocked that Twitter fessed to 5%. I would have thought they'd have tried to deny it. I think, in my personal view, it's higher than 5%, but I don't know for sure. But just looking at this sort of concept of bots now. I was, with some associates, we were using a particular online platform to do some advertising. We also had, analytics running on our website. So we had, for example, we had, say, I'm just round off the numbers here, 100 hits on the website for the week, but there were 500 hits on the paid advertising. The only way you could get to the paid advertising was through the website. So it wasn't possible. You could have 101 and 500 in the other, unless, for example, there were previous weeks that may have accumulated where there was 1,000 hits on the website, but only a few people went through to the advertising. So the numbers need to add up, and they didn't. So we did a little experiment. We switched off the advertising thing, but except for 10 minutes, 10 minutes to midnight on a Sunday. So that's when no one's around. 10 minutes to midnight on a Sunday, there ain't no one about. And so we switched off the advertising except for that 10 minutes. So there was nothing in the whole week, on any of the other days. Again, just that 10 minutes. And as soon as that 10 minutes came up, when the embargo, if you like, on the advertisement was lifted, a whole bunch of advertising hits came through at 10 minutes to midnight. In that 10-minute window. So clearly it was bots. Bots were driving it. There was a bunch of people there at 10 minutes to midnight on a Sunday, just waiting for that 10-minute window to turn up. Of course there wasn't. And so we tried some different experiments and randomly picked sort of different times, sometimes 5 minutes, sometimes a 1 minute window, that sort of thing. And every time, just in that precise 1 minute, a couple of hits would come in, even though it would be 2 a.m. and we picked times when no one was around. So clearly bots were doing that, except that we had to pay for it. So now we made a complaint and said, look, this is what we've done. And straight away, there wasn't, but the idea that they knew they were doing it, they knew they'd been caught out, and so their view was going to be really expensive for you to sue us. So why don't you just go away and be good little children? It was that sort of thing. And so they know they're doing it, and they know the extent of it, and they know that it's worth billions of dollars worldwide to them. And it's bot driven. There's no real customers coming in and looking at the adverts. It's completely bot driven. Now I believe that some of the adverts, so if there are 500 hits in the week but only 100 go through to the website, then or 100 start out on the website, then you can assume that maybe 20% of the hits you're supposed to be getting on the adverts are genuine. And now, given the conversion rate of adverts, the conversion rate was very low, remarkably low by any standard of measurement. And we couldn't work that out. But once we realised that the advertising hits, which we had to pay them for, by the way, so they're charging you for advertising, and then they've got the bots there that actually generate the inquiries, if you will, onto your adverts. And they're made up, they're mythical, they're just sheer bots. So I don't know how widespread this is. Just on my experience, then it's particularly widespread. And if I look at, say, a lot of the responses on various platforms that I get and my colleagues get online, there's just too much consistency in the structure and nature of the thing to suggest that it's a different person. It's bots are generating they're grabbing on some keywords and sending out responses that are pre-written, and if you see this combination of keywords, send that, and so the bot just sends it. And so I think it's far more widespread than we realise. And when you look at things like it's alleged that Joe Biden's homepage, whatever it is, gets 10 million views, but in reality it's nowhere near that. It's just bot driven for the rest. So I think bots are now an essential part of the wider propaganda narrative in either denouncing people who have used a word that the globalists don't like, or just for generating revenue, or pretending that a platform has much more activity on it than it does. And you even see this on the stock market, where there's actually very few legitimate transactions that occur in a lot of the shares that are traded on the various stock exchanges. But there's AI transactions where they just churn back and forth 100 shares, which gives the impression of activity and gives the impression that there's a lot of great liquidity in a stock, when in fact it's nothing of the sort. It's just pure bot AI churn. So I think it's a big issue. I'd be interested in seeing your comments below. But when I realised the scale of it in generating advertising revenue for this firm, that they were just generating billions upon billions by using bots to sucker people who are paying for it, and to look at all these people that are looking at your adverts when in fact they're not, and the whole thing's a scam of the first magnitude. You've been with Tacitus today, your Pushback channel, and thank you for listening.